So obviously we know that everyone who's watching right now, anything to do with Bravo, they all want to kick off with Vanderpump Rules, the Scandoval of it all. And we've had a lot of things going on with Scandoval, including Tom and Ariana, and also Ariana being in New York right now with her new boyfriend and Sheena and Brock. Did you see the Watch What Happens Live interview?
Of course I saw it. I mean, the highest rated Watch What Happens Live in history. Is that what it was? A series high? I mean, iconic for Ariana.
Which is so wild to me. I think that in this moment, nobody really realized what this would have done. And she kind of explained, because he asked her, he's like, why do you think that this is so big? And she explained it in the sense that I feel like everyone looked at our relationship like there was an end game, there was longevity, they were invested. Like we were kind of the ones who were always the solid foundation within the group. And then things went awry, right? Well, code for my boyfriend of 10 years slept with my best friend.
Exactly.
Wild. So,
I'm
no, please.
I mean, it's crazy. And it's crazy that she keeps having to explain the difference between this and like previous, cheating or anything that's happened on the show before. Like, this is so much different. It's so much more wild. And Ariana deserves all of the attention that she is getting.
I mean, if you think about it, isn't it so crazy to break down Dancing with the Stars, White House Correspondents' Dinner, The View, like the Lifetime movie, Bloomingdale's, Uber Eats, like
New York
it's one
Times.
New York Times. It's not stopping.
It's not stopping. I don't think it's going to anytime soon. And honestly, I know Scandoval was really, really rough, and it probably is still rough for her. She's probably still kind of grieving the relationship, but it was like the best thing that could ever happen to her. She has, to kind of use a term that my co-host uses, Lisa, she has dropped 175 pounds of dead weight and is now free as a bird to do, what she wants and shine her brightest, really. She doesn't have this like man child at her side, stealing the spotlight.
Well, what do you think right now? Because we had Alex Baskin who came out, who is one of the producers of Vanderpump Rules. And he recently came out and said that we are putting the show not on like a hiatus, but we are pausing right now. We're not picking cameras up where we left off. The reason I want to pick your brain about this is because Jason and I did a Vanderpump Rules after party the other night. I believe it was Wednesday night. And when we did, we spoke about it a little bit. And he said, I don't want a break. Like, I think that they should pick up cameras immediately, just like they did with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills when we were so focused on Erica and how she was picking up the pieces with Tom Girardi. Like, I think we should pick up the cameras, see Ariana living like her high life, see Daniel Way like on our screens, see how Tom and Raquel are navigating this. I get exactly what he wants to see, but I think from producer standpoints, they're like, it's going to be a shit show to try to film with everyone. So we need to give everyone a little bit of a break. But what do you want as a fan?
I mean, I want the same thing that you guys want. I want the cameras. Like, if it were up to me, we would have them like Big Brother style, like 24/7 recording in a house. Obviously, Ariana and Tom would be in separate houses. But I think they need to pick back up the cameras and, try to get what's going down on camera. But unfortunately, it's kind of like a New Jersey situation. They're going to have to figure out how to film with Tom and maybe Raquel and Ariana, because obviously they're not going to be filming together. They're going to be doing separate scenes. So I think that's going to require a lot of figuring out. And I was actually at Andy's book signing event last night in LA, and he did talk a little bit about this. Basically, number one, don't ask Andy what's happening with Vanderpump Rules because he doesn't know. Number two, he did say that nothing has been figured out yet, that they really need to, look at the situation and figure it out. But he said that they will figure it out. It's just going to take some time. And I think that's probably why they're going to go on pause.
And also, to be fair, like I get that he's no longer like an executive producer, but when they say that they have a lot to figure out, we've seen this with Roni. Now we have Real Housewives of New Jersey also taking a pause. We had Beverly Hills where they had to figure out, okay, well, Lisa Rinna sent sort of like an exit text message to him after the reunion. So I feel like they're constantly in a position to try to figure it out. But going into the new season, with what Jax Taylor recently said, and him and Brittany being on Peacock's Watch series, he said, "I'm still friends with Tom Schwartz. The business is not doing amazing. And I keep telling Tom, if you want to continue on with everything that you have going on, you have to cut the dead weight. You have to cut Sandoval," which gives him someone to film with. If Jax and Brittany come back like they keep alluding to on Lala's podcast or anywhere else on TV, it gives Tom Schwartz a person to film with. But do you think we would do that? Would we invite old people back to the cast?
You are so right about giving Schwartz a person to film with, because he's also somebody that not a lot of people want to associate with right now. And I definitely think that Jackson Brittany would be perfect to come back. I mean, we saw Kristen Doty's return, iconic. She is so relevant to the situation. And I feel like Jax has a lot to say about this. If you watch seasons past of Vanderpump Rules, he honestly has kind of been right about Sandoval all along. And, we know he's on this press tour talking a lot about it, on his podcast and everything. And I think he would bring a lot to the show and bring the drama. I'm all about them returning.
Yeah. And I also think that when he knew all along about Tom Sandoval, like you said, I think that it was almost like something that was eating at Jax. Like he understood that he stepped into the character on reality TV of being like that villain. And he had to completely own that because he was a little bit more upfront with it. But I think that there were moments where Tom Sandoval was like, dude, and being so like high and mighty that Jax was like, wait a minute, bro. The fans might not know. I know. Like, I'm your best friend. I know that you're just as shitty of a person as I am.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy to think that like the ebbs and the flows of these characters, like one season, they're the number one guy in the group, and the next season they are falling from grace. So the fact that Jax is back, on top, and I wouldn't say number one. James Kennedy is my number one currently.
Oh my gosh. Not with everyone. You're not the only one, Kim. Everybody is James Kennedy, number one.
Yep,
Did you pause on me? Kim, you might have paused on me a little bit. Hold on. All right, guys, I'm dropping Kim down for 2 seconds. I think that she paused on me, but Kim, if you can hear me, just go ahead and exit and enter back into the chat. But James Kennedy technically is the number one. Here she is, right here. Hi, Kim. Can you hear me?
sorry.
I think it might just take a second. Norma said, Adam, did you pause Kim for liking James? No, I love James, guys.